Welcome back to Dadletics Podcast. I'm your host, Tyler Smith, and I am with
Pat McSweeney.
Dr. Pat. Episode 4. Today we are going to get into all things recovery. Hopefully all things. Time will be limited. It may be a two-part series.
Yeah, there's a lot to dive into.
We'll see what we can dive into. But first, let's talk about today's
How you doing? How's the workout? How's your week been?
Well, we'll get into the week.
Okay.
I did some traveling, so did some treadmill running, which is not fun.
No.
It's obviously necessary in the winter, but when it's nice out, it gets difficult. And I'm trying to be more open-minded about when I do travel of running outside, but it's just when you don't know, and I don't want to get lost or make the wrong turn, I get a little sketchy about it.
And you're in different spots, like, all the time. You're not traveling to the same location.
Right. So this week I flew into Nashville, and then I worked my way all the way back home.
Yeah.
So different hotels. I was able to get one. There was a pretty good stretch when I recorded on Strava, pre-mapped it, and I did hit that for the big 10 mile. But Wednesday's 8 mile easy on the treadmill. It just seemed like
it's brutal.
I try to look away and distract myself. I'm like, all right, it has to be at least 5 minutes, and it had been like a minute.
Yeah.
Oh man.
I'm typically not like a music or anything person when I run, but if I'm running on the treadmill, one of the only ways I can get through, like, unless it's like a hard interval session, like those usually keep my attention pretty well, and like I can get through that. But if it's just like an easy run, I feel like I gotta have something.
They're the most difficult. Yeah, easy runs. So, but we'll talk a little bit about recovery when we do travel. But let's talk about today's Thursday track workout.
Yeah.
Today we had another great showing. 2 new guys, which was awesome. 3. Yeah. 3. Andy, Nick, and Jameson. So that was cool. But I think the topic, we'll get into it, but I think meeting Nick was pretty cool.
Yeah.
So
it's going to give you somebody to chase.
Nick Anderson, I believe is his last name, hit us up on DM a couple days ago on Instagram and showed up, and we were getting to know him as we were doing our warm-up miles. And it was funny because he said he had just done the Flying Pig, and again, sometimes you just don't know that they do the half marathon of it or the full marathon. Again, it's dark out, you can't really see. I didn't know what I was dealing with. And he was like, yeah, it went pretty well. I ran a 2:40. And again, I'm like, man, that's way too slow for a half. But this guy's running with us to the 2:40 marathon. And that's what it was. And he's shooting for 2:35 this fall.
Yeah. For
Columbus. And so after the workout, I Googled him and searched him on Strava. And he ran like a 2:35 in Boston in 2022.
Jeez. Yeah.
So I got to know him. He did run with me today, which was pretty cool. Which was funny because I'm out there not talking much, and he's just carrying a normal conversation. But did get to know him a little bit, and he was just saying that he former runner in college, cross country, track. So it was pretty cool. Knock on wood, I hope he stays, keep showing up.
For sure.
I think, like you said, it'll be fun for me to have someone to chase, but also bounce ideas off of. Yeah. And who's done it has done it it seems like a really high level. So that'll be cool. And I think he's in it. He's a dad. 2 kids. Just moved. Sounds like he just moved to Upper Arlington. And then Googled run clubs, and hey, we popped up. We were number 1.
That's great.
The algo loves us.
Yeah, love that.
So let's get into today's workout.
Yeah, how'd the workout go for you?
It was good. So just to remind everybody, we did threshold paces today, which was 3 by 10 minutes with 2-minute recovery jog in between. So threshold, again, is anywhere from 45 to 60 minutes of comfortably hard. It's a pretty big band. So my goal was to sit around 620 to 625 minute mile paces, which is about a mile, 1.5 miles, 1.6 miles. And rep 1 hit 624, rep 2 623, and then 617 at the end.
Nice.
So about a 621 average. And again, I know not everybody likes to track everything. as you found out last week, but I do, and I think it's cool because in August of last year, we did a 3x1 mile with, I believe, 2 minutes or 90-second rest, standing rest.
Mm-hmm.
I did a 6:20 pace average, max heart rate of 173. Today,
yeah.
163.
Great.
So, I think that's always a fun way to keep your blinders on.
Mm-hmm.
Really, you're competing against yourself.
Totally.
And that's why, again, I highly recommend tracking things for that, just to see the improvement.
For sure.
Because it's encouraging.
Yeah.
Especially when I'm sitting there and I'm like, what's your threshold? And he's like, well, I've been training about 5:45, talking about Nick.
You're like, same.
5:45, oh, okay. But it's easy to start comparing yourself.
Total, yeah.
And that's not what this is about, but that is in our human nature, especially as a competitor.
Mm-hmm.
And so if you truly can just blinders on, compare yourself to yourself year over year and see the progress.
Yeah.
That's encouraging and fun.
That's why I think it's cool, because we've done some of these similar workouts, over the last year or so since we've been doing this. And so to see what you did 12 months ago, even 3 or 4 months ago, you can see the progress, which is what is very motivating, I think, to keep coming back and keep putting the work in.
Definitely.
For those days when it's a 8-mile easy treadmill run, you're like, oh, this is not what I want to do. But those are the things that help move the needle forward. And
I think as we continue to do this and you start following more and more people, it's those 8-mile treadmill work.
Mm-hmm.
Like, those are the separators, because nobody wants to do those.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yet those are the most important to get that volume in. Everybody wants to do the fun workouts.
Yeah. That's what I feel like we highlight, our Thursday workouts, but these workouts are made when you're traveling in the beginning of the week and still getting in, I don't know, what'd you do? 30 miles of volume from Monday to Wednesday?
26. Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, that's the stuff that continues to progress you forward. If you're only doing the fast stuff, you're not going to see the same progress, or those paces start to become easier, or that heart rate start to come down when you're doing the same paces for a longer rep.
Yep.
So yeah, that's the stuff that's going to make a big difference.
For sure. How'd it go for you?
Went really well. Like I was shooting for 640, 635, 640, I think was my game plan going in. And again, like context wise, I haven't been putting as much running volume in, so I wasn't sure how these longer reps were going to go. Like I feel like the shorter, even like 1K, 400s, like I can hold those pretty well just aerobically, but I feel like the longer reps, I wasn't sure, because I felt like legs might start to break down a little bit, just because I haven't been putting as much running volume in recently, with the triathlon training, doing more biking and swimming. But it went really well. Like it was like bang on from the start. Like I was like 6:38, I think, for the first 10 minutes, and I was 6:39 for the last 10 minutes.
Awesome.
I think with 6:38
Yeah.
on the second one too. So, which is my MO, like lock into a pace and just hold it.
Just hold it.
So, versus you, like negative split everything, I feel like. So, but yeah, it went super well. Yeah, and
I thought it was cool to see Andrew.
I was just going to say,
see him kind of get his legs back a little bit.
Yep.
A little bit more about
Yeah,
Andrew.
he's been training for 70.3 coming up, half Ironman. And so he's been somebody who, like when we've talked before, I'm like, yeah, our paces should be pretty similar. And I think as he's like started to get into it, build some of that consistency, like that aerobic system starting to kick back in, and he was right there with me the whole time today.
Good.
So it was great. So similarly to you, where like it's nice to have somebody to run with or chase, like I think he'll be a good like rabbit and good person to do some of these intervals with and stuff like that.
Agreed.
So,
Agreed. It's fun to see guys get their legs back and start doing what they're
totally
should be doing. Well, I thought it was cool. We don't do this often because usually it's a set distance, but to have this set times, it it was kind of cool because it felt more of a group class per se today.
Yeah.
I know Elizabeth was like, "Hey, we don't have the time. Like, can you scream out like when the 10 minutes is up?"
Yeah.
But it was fun because we all were kind of on the same plan and starting together, ending together, which was fun.
That's always not. I mean, it's similar in like a CrossFit style workout when you do like an AMRAP, where it's like no matter how fast you go, the time is the time. Like it's going to take the same time no matter what, no matter where you are coming from or what level you're on. So I liked that too. And yeah, it was different than we've been doing so many just like distance reps recently. It was nice to have something different. Like I always loved timed intervals because I feel like mentally they're easier for me to swallow.
For sure.
On the track, like I just like I'll go back and forth, like mentally I'll go back and forth between like, okay, I'm going to do an 800 and then I'll look down at the watch and be like, okay, I only have a little under 7 minutes left or something like that. So I think that gives me just like little checkpoints throughout those workouts to check off, which is really nice. So I liked that today.
Yeah, for sure. I think I'm definitely going to figure out how to add that in a little bit more.
Yeah.
Well, I did not open up my element before starting this, so I'm going to crack this and not interrupt anybody.
See how that goes on the... Yeah, I opened mine accidentally by dropping it on the ground before I came, so...
I've been looking forward to this all day.
Basically, like I was trying to shotgun it. But yeah, so we're going to dive into all things recovery this week. Like I think that's a big topic. There's a lot to dive into, but there's a few key points I think that we want to talk through when it comes to balancing the dad or the parent life, or just in general, like for busy people who are balancing a lot of things but still trying to strive towards certain training goals and things like that. Like how does that recovery piece fit in? I think there's, like I said, a lot to get into, but I want to kind of break it down into a few different realms and highlight some of the most important pieces of the puzzle. Because I think right now with like our culture, like the one percenters are made out to be like the bigger deal, which they just aren't. Like we'll talk through what are kind of the biggest pieces to that recovery puzzle, and then we'll talk through like, if you're absolutely trying to maximize every little, no stone left unturned, so to speak, what some of those things are, but without the big pieces, they're basically worthless.
Well, I'd like to say there's the big piece.
Yeah.
And we'll see if we both agree on it.
Yeah.
That from all the research, anything you can do, the number one lever you can focus on and get better at is sleep.
Sleep. Yeah, for sure.
There it is.
Yeah.
Which is a huge topic, especially for dads and family and parents, because that does become real. I will say that sleep does change once you do have your first child.
Totally.
May not need as much.
Yeah.
But at the same time, how important it is, and when you're talking culture, how we just still emphasize. I think it's getting bigger and bigger of like the importance of it, but it's this sleep when you're dead, grind, type of mentality. And I do want to let people know, because I post a lot of my morning workouts, and it's 4:30, and I think the question is, well, do you not sleep?
Yeah, when do you go to bed?
Right, and so it's like, I need my sleep. But I think they don't know that I'm going to bed at 8:39.
Yeah, same.
Right, so
yeah.
So I always shoot for 7 hours, and what I know is I have to be in bed by 8:39.
Yeah.
And that's me forfeiting binging a show.
Yep.
Or whatever that might be.
Yeah, same. I mean, I think I've always been somebody who has like loved my sleep. I mean, I've always been an early to bed, early to rise, I would say. Like that's just been my normal. But the things that I like would say I deprioritize now, especially with being a dad, trying to strive towards certain goals and things like that, would be like night sports games. Think like watching a late night college football game or a World Cup game that starts at 8:00. Like I'm just not gonna watch that. Like it's just not. It's not gonna be a priority.
I'm always jealous of the people that live in like central time zones or Pacific. It's like, man, that's ideal.
Yeah.
I will say there's there's only, unfortunately, I don't know how, depending on how you look at it, there's one team that I will always stay up for, and that's Ohio State football, no matter what.
See, I love a 3:30 is my sweet spot for a game start time. Like,
Oh, noon.
no.
Because we have kids sleeping from 12 to 3. Well,
That's
we did.
fair. Yeah, that's fair.
So in the past, you'd have some of you time.
See, I like a 3:30 because you can you can get everything in the morning. Like, you can, kids sports games, work out, whatever you got to do for the day. But then 3:30 hits, you're like, all right, I feel like I can let go for the day versus noon. I'm like, that's starting pretty early. Like, I can't, I have to do something after the fact to, feel productive, I guess, for the day.
Yeah. I will say the nice thing is with my current training now, I'm taking Sundays off. Should line up well.
Oh, for sure.
For the late night games.
Yeah.
So I don't feel as bad about waking up.
Totally. So yeah, I think with sleep, like, that has to be, from a recovery standpoint, if you aren't sleeping well, the other pieces of the puzzle are probably going to be basically negligible.
Yeah.
So
let's get into a little bit more about sleep and how we each do it. But I will start off by saying this is sleep has been good with the kids here recently. But I do have some breaking news. I got approval from my wife that
let's go.
Smith Party of 6
Woo!
will be coming to a household near you in December of this year.
Congrats.
So, not sure if it's going to be our 4th boy.
Cool.
I think we're due for a girl.
Yeah.
But I don't know any different right now. I'm one of 3 boys, half 3 boys.
Yep.
So, yeah, baby number 4. So, I am
That's
having
awesome.
to... It's been 2 years since we've had a newborn.
Yeah.
2.5. And so, I'm trying to figure out, okay, what's that going to look like? Luckily, it's going to be post-marathon. And my wife is a rock star. She does a lot with the newborn. It's just going to be me having to manage the 3 other boys, probably more solo, which is nice. But again, sleep's going to have to be even a bigger priority for me. So,
so for sleep, like, do you make, on nights, like, undoubtedly that happen where the kids don't sleep well, you don't sleep well, do you make any adjustments to, like, training or go, a little bit easier or cut volume or anything like that? Or how do you handle those situations?
Yeah, I don't. If it were consecutive nights, I think you have to. But what tends to happen, I feel like, is I just go to bed a little earlier than the next night.
Yep.
Again, as you are going to start to realize that I am a creature of habit, and if I write something down, the next day it's going to happen.
Yeah.
However, I get myself in trouble because in the middle of that night, if I'm sitting there or walking a baby around that's crying or can't sleep, I'm sitting there fretting, like, oh, I'm not going to get my sleep. I'm not going to get the workout I want the next day. So that's a me problem that I definitely have to work on. So I'm hoping that with this one, maybe I've grown and understand that, yes, maybe the next day, if it's not a threshold, I don't think an easy run makes or breaks you.
Honestly, too, like, the research would back up that it's more about your, like, running average than it is about any one night. Like, you can usually bounce back from a night or 2 of bad sleep as long as you're keeping it a priority. Like, and I think that's what you're saying is, like, you're able to do that and keep something that you wrote down on track and on schedule, because you're like, okay, well, then the next night or the next couple nights I'm going to try to still prioritize and get to bed earlier.
Yeah, and what's cool too is I did get to experience a newborn during CrossFit, as well as my running journey, which is kind of cool. I think I did fret a little bit more about the CrossFit, maybe just because I was younger, but also the intensity.
Yeah.
Right, that knowing that the next day I had to run my head. Well, I didn't have to run my head through a wall, but I was running my head through a wall in redlining.
Yeah,
where it's like, it's an easy 8 miles tomorrow.
Yeah,
it's not a Metcon.
Yeah,
so I think that does help a little bit.
Yeah, Yeah, I think the key takeaway is like just keeping it as a priority, like knowing that even, especially as a parent, like the ebbs and flows are going to happen when it comes to kids are going to get sick. Things are, they're going to wake up in the middle of the night with nightmares or need you in the middle of the night. Like your sleep is not going to be perfect, but keeping it at the forefront of your mind, like this is a priority, and above all else, when it comes to performance, making sure that that stays a priority and you're not making one bad night of sleep a week or 2 weeks of bad sleep when possible, obviously.
Yeah, and I think it's sleep debt, and I think you look at it from a 7-day average,
Mm-hmm.
similar to if we were looking at nutrition,
yeah,
like last week
or training or anything.
One bad day of eating is not going to kill your gains,
mm-hmm.
right? It's what are you doing over a 7-day average, 14-day average, and I think that can be said with sleep, right?
Yeah.
It's like anything.
Yeah.
So one bad night's not awful, but at the same time, I think I like to prioritize and make sure I can, again, control the controllables.
Mm-hmm.
So I've done multiple things. That's, again, nice thing about a Whoop, highly recommend it, is it gives you a journal, and you can each morning say yes or no to whatever questions you want it to prompt you. So I've done mouth taping, which that's very interesting.
Yeah.
So I would put tape over my mouth, and I think I scared a couple of my kids because they'd be crying. I'd go in there and forget it's on my lips.
Oh man.
So
all right.
Now I did not notice a ton of changes in my sleep.
Okay.
Other than I'd wake up and my mouth wasn't dry, so that was kind of nice. Good breath.
Okay.
So I've done that.
What else do you do from like a quality standpoint? Like, what are you prioritizing anything to make sure, assuming kids sleep well and everything goes according to plan, like that you get a good night of sleep?
Yeah, I've done no phone. The screen doesn't actually seem to help. I've done blue light blocking glasses.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't really make a difference. So again, I think not to say that they don't help other people.
Sure.
But they really haven't helped me.
Yeah.
The biggest thing, and this is a can of worms if we want to go there, is alcohol.
Yeah. I think we can definitely go there.
And I did speak last week, the alcohol, but also last week I spoke about eating closer to bedtime for me.
Yeah.
Affected my sleep. So when I did stop doing that, I've seen huge improvements with sleep.
Yep.
Also, I think running.
Yeah, being tired.
Possibly weight loss.
Yeah.
Because I used to weigh about 240 pounds. I've come down to 200 pounds. So I think that has helped a lot. But if you want to go down alcohol, that's...
Yeah, we can definitely go there.
Because I would say that's probably then, outside of sleep, that is going to affect a lot of things.
I would say the other like big one to focus on would be a similar like bedtime and wake time. Like, that rhythm is super important from like a sleep drive standpoint and quality of sleep standpoint.
And I think timing up your body with the melatonin. If it knows, hey, we're going to bed consistently at 9 o'clock.
It's that rhythm. Yeah. Those are probably the key pieces, I would say. Like making sure you're going to bed and waking up at the same time, not eating a huge meal, as far away from your bedtime as possible. And
there's definitely caveats to that.
Yeah.
Depending on what you're going for. I think if you're trying to put on a ton of muscle mass, I think the research will show that like a whey casein protein before bed is super helpful.
Yeah.
From a muscle synthesis. But again, that caveats.
Yeah, for sure.
If you're pounding ice cream like we talked.
I was gonna say it's probably more what you eat at that point than anything. But yeah, I think those are the biggest levers to pull. Like you said, I mean the screen time and things like that are in our world now are trickier definitely to get away from. And similarly, I don't know that I've noticed a huge difference for that. I have been doing like a no phone Sunday where I just like put it into the bed or bedroom on the charger
all day or just before bed.
Most of the day. Yeah. Now for like, and this is probably going against things, but for like work and stuff like that later on in the day I'll check it, but I try to keep it away from me as much as I can. And I have noticed just an overall difference as far as like what I feel like on that day and prioritizing family time and that sort of thing. So I like that from that standpoint. But sleep wise, I've noticed the biggest things being going to bed and waking up at the same time. We'll get into alcohol here shortly. Caffeine would be another one, is minimizing how late in the day. Like I try to stop. This is a bit of a anomaly. I try to stop before noon, if not even a little bit earlier.
Noon's about my cutoff.
But yeah, usually caffeine and then alcohol is the other big thing that I've noticed that will have a huge effect on the quality of my sleep.
Yeah, definitely dive in more when we talk about supplements, but I have noticed a nice little bump in sleep quality when I added some magnesium glycinate and then also magnesium L-threonate. So L-threonate actually crosses your blood-brain barrier, from my understanding, and relaxes my mind. Because a lot of times that's my biggest. I'll get fixated on something and I can't sleep because I'm fixated on that.
Yeah.
That kind of helps me calm my mind. And then the glycinate from the muscle recovery, relaxation.
Totally.
I think this helps big time.
Yeah. Let's talk alcohol. I mean, what's your current strategy when it comes to alcohol?
Yeah.
And then, I mean, yeah, what have you noticed?
I think on our conversations, you and I come from similar backgrounds when it comes to alcohol.
Yeah.
Probably like 90% of people.
Yeah.
You know, you start drinking in college, and again, with our mentalities, it's who's going to drink the most that night.
Yeah.
Right. And then pre-kids, you get married, pre-kids, you're still going out and enjoying yourself. And then we had kids, and then I got into bourbon, collecting bourbon, trading bourbon, and found myself really enjoying bourbon. However, I noticed myself at the same time. That's when Huberman, Dr. Peter Attia, all the science is becoming mainstream about the effects of alcohol and trying to do it earlier. I'm like, okay, well, I can do that, right? Because the later you do it, the more it's going to affect your sleep.
Totally.
If you can do it at noon, your body can then metabolize it. It's not going to be as harmful from a sleep. Again, we're talking sleep quality here.
So we're definitely recommending day drinking.
Start early.
Yeah.
If you're not ripping a shot of vodka before work, you're not trying hard enough. So with the bourbon, though, is I was then trying to do it on a weekend at 4 o'clock early. But I have a 2 or 3 year old coming up and wanting my attention. And again, with bourbon, it's you want to enjoy it. Yeah. It's not like you're not slamming a beer down. And what I found myself is I was getting frustrated a little bit quicker, or losing my, not temper, but I wasn't as patient with my children. And then couple that with, well, I know this isn't great for performance, so then what am I doing here? What's the point of this? Can't say I'm I'd rather have a Gatorade than a beer. And so I just got to a point, I'm like, well, you know what, this was 2 years ago, I'm just gonna stop drinking altogether and see what happens. And I think 2 years ago I had 5 drinks, and this year I've had 1, and that was with you post race. But again, it's a season of life, and my wife and I, pre-kids, I mean, that's how we would connect. We'd go out to a dinner, have drinks together, go enjoy vacations, and we talk about it all the time because she's backed off. Obviously, she's not drinking at all right now. Yeah. But we talk about it's just a season of life. Someday we'll start drinking again and enjoying those outings and this social connection that it does bring, because there is something to be said about that. Yeah. But I'm not a guy that will come home from work and I need 2 beers to relax. That's just not my personality. And again, there's no research other than from a social aspect. If it brings you some joy, there's really no research that says it's beneficial. Yeah.
There's something that came out not recently, but that basically said there's not we used to think 1 or 2 drinks was fine. And from a health standpoint, people talk about red wine and that sort of thing, but there's research that basically came out that was there's not a level of alcohol that is
That's good.
healthy,
Yes.
quote unquote.
But again, I don't want to take away, because it's not. I'm not saying like I'm anti-alcohol.
Yeah.
I just, again, it's I have goals.
Yeah.
And it's not helping my goals. And right now, and in our season of life, we're not going out and really hanging out with others.
Mm-hmm.
And my mornings are, I love my mornings.
Yeah.
And I don't want to not get those mornings because I'm sleeping in. And I never want to be hungover for my kids.
Yeah.
That's the other thing
Yeah.
for me. It's the time with my kids. I don't want to say no to them to go, hit in the front yard or go somewhere because I'm hungover and sleeping on the couch. To me, it's just, that's not worth it.
Mm-hmm.
We have 18 years with these kids. Kind of seems like a long time, but it's really not.
Yeah.
Because half of those years, they're not going to be with you because you're going to be off playing with other kids.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't want to miss those moments
because
of that. And it's just, right now, it's just not important to me. And that could change, I don't know, 6 months from now.
Yeah.
But
I come at it from a different, like most things that we cover, come at it from like a little different way. I would say, similarly, like college, after college, when my wife and I got together, I mean, it was nothing to go through like a 6-pack, maybe even more, of like heavy IPAs, like on a weekend. Like I have distinct memories of going to like Kroger on a Thursday, picking up a couple 6-packs, and most of them being gone by the end of the weekend. Yeah. And that was 3 or 4 beers a night, basically, over the course of a weekend. And similarly, I think when we had kids, obviously at that point, like when Megan was pregnant, like she wasn't drinking, so I found myself drinking less. And then got to a point where I just didn't love the way that I was feeling the next day. Like that's where I would see the biggest change, is the sleep quality or the lack thereof, and then just like that time that it takes to recover the next day, of like before you start to feel like a functioning human being again.
Did you ever get Sunday scaries?
Yeah, I would say.
So that is another big proponent for me, is the anxiety that I would get after a weekend of drinking.
Yeah.
I would feel like as if I took 2 steps backwards in training specifically. Yeah. And I hated that feeling. Yep. I feel like I was always digging out of a hole.
Yep. That's for me too. It was definitely a feeling of, I hate feeling hungover. I hate feeling unproductive. And now, I mean, we're almost 40. Like, hangovers hit hard at this point. Like, they're a couple days before you start to feel like, okay, I'm myself again. I can get back after it with training, or, like you said, feel like you're yourself around your family or your friends. So my, like, approach is not total, like, abstinence, I guess. Like, I'm not totally, like, I still drink every week pretty much. But I've switched to light beer, so that's been a big change.
There you go.
And most of the time I'm only having like 1, maybe 2. 2 seems to be the cutoff for me for light beer. This is a self-experiment. If I have 2, like, shout out Garage Beer, that's my like go-to. They're 95 calories. And 2 is the point where if I have that third, my day is affected the next day.
Okay.
My sleep is affected, my day the next, like, I don't feel as sharp the next day.
Yep.
And so that's kind of the approach that I've taken. Similarly to what we were talking about before, like, timing, I think, matters a lot too, where the later into the day that pushes, the less I'm going to feel good the next day. Versus if it's, a Saturday afternoon and there's a football game on or something like that, like, having 2 beers over the course of a couple hours, I feel like I can still process that fairly decently and still be pretty ready to go the next day.
Yeah, and you talked about the nutrition. Mm-hmm. Those are real calories.
Yeah, totally.
And I think going back to when I did stop, it was doing the Arnold Pump and Run 2 years ago when I was trying to cut weight and I was in a huge calorie deficit. And again, at that time, it's like, okay, do I want 200 calories from 2 beers or do I want a bar?
Yeah.
or a couple bananas or something. Like, I'm choosing food because it wasn't worth it to me at that point.
Yeah.
And then again, I just kind of rolled into it with that.
Yeah. And for me, I don't know. It's not that like I'm not willing to give it up, but I do enjoy like the taste of a beer after mowing the lawn or after whatever. So that's the piece to me that I'm like that balance. I feel like I've struck a decent balance with how I implement it, both timing and amount.
Yeah.
That still lets me perform pretty well and still chase those goals.
The nice thing is too, for you and I, is our jobs don't really require a lot of networking. And I've one of my best friends is having to entertain a lot.
Yeah.
And you're just kind of expected, like, that's how you kind of build relationships.
Yep.
It's kind of like meeting at the track and running.
Yeah.
It's going out and having those stories to tell at the bar. And so that's something that gets tricky too. And
totally.
And I have been in those situations. I mean, we had trade shows where I have to go and, I pretty much have to say no. I just, you just got to be comfortable with that. I do think though that it's not as frowned upon, or not, maybe not frowned upon is the right word, but people don't, like, when you say that, I think it's becoming, it's more normalized.
Yeah.
And there's a ton of NA options if you do want something.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, really, I think the biggest issue is my brother just making fun of me.
Yeah. Yeah, I run into...
But he's over. I think he's finally over it.
The weekends I have the hardest time with is when we're together with, like, my family specifically.
Yeah.
Like 4th of July. I mean, we're having a good time, drinking, whatever. Like, and I feel like throughout the day I'm trying to drink water and stay on top of things from that standpoint. But amount-wise, and those are the weekends that I still have more than I would like. And I know that those weekends aren't going to be the best from a trading standpoint, but the family connection for me for that on those weekends is worth the trade-off.
And that's real.
So that's kind of why I go down that road, but I still get made fun of for going to bed way too early. Like, they're up watching something, like, who knows what, WNBA basketball or whatever it is on a weekend, and
but man,
I'm going to bed.
I love, like, people are like, man, how'd you get up at 5 a.m. to go run? I'm like, I don't think you realized I was up at 3:45 telling myself to go back to sleep.
Yeah.
Like, I love my mornings.
Yeah, I'm the same way. I like the quiet, like, especially, like, just the stillness of the morning, cup of coffee, like, all that to me is better than staying up way too late and how I'm going to feel the next day.
For sure. So, okay, I think we got through alcohol.
Yeah.
Again, if you're going to do it earlier.
Yeah.
But it is real, and it is going to affect your sleep.
Yeah.
Because it's funny, because my one brother's like, oh, I got 8 hours of sleep, because he said he went to bed at 10 o'clock and got up at 7, and I said, no, like, he didn't.
Yeah.
Because your body, like, it is...
It's the quality is the problem.
Alcohol, it's poison.
Yeah.
So your body's literally going to shut down. It's everything it's doing to process that alcohol to get rid of it out of your system as fast as possible. And in your sleep state, it's fighting that. So you're not going to get quality sleep.
It affects, like, your REM sleep and all of the, like, the reason you have that fog the next day is, I mean, one, you just feel like crap, but from a neurological clearance, like, that's where REM, like, what REM sleep does is basically all of those problem things that are happening throughout the day. Yeah, it helps flush a lot of that. So, the depth of sleep or the quality of sleep is just not there when it comes to alcohol.
Yeah.
It's the same thing, like, have you ever read the book Why We Sleep? Have you heard of that before?
I have not.
It's a great book, highly recommend. Matthew Walker is the author.
Oh, yes, I did an audiobook on that.
Okay, yeah.
Back in 2020.
So he talks about, which I kind of view these similarly, because a lot of people will say, like, oh, I'm drinking, like you said, to relax or to help me fall asleep or to help me fall asleep. People use, like, melatonin for the same reason, and he basically said, like, the research would show that's basically just like hitting you over the head with a hammer. It's not giving you restorative quality sleep, and alcohol is the same way. So I think timing and amount are the two biggest things to consider when you're talking about alcohol consumption. Yeah. And again, I still do it and feel like I have a decent handle on how to implement that and still feel like I can perform, but yeah, I feel like less is more in a lot of ways with that.
Okay, we'll move on from it. Anything else with sleep?
No, I think that's the biggest thing to focus on from a quality standpoint. 7 to 9 hours is the gold standard, but really quality is the biggest thing, and so trying to focus on whatever those habits are to ensure that you're getting a deep, like, restorative sleep. Because some folks are like, well, I don't have neither of us have 9 hours to sleep, you know.
Yeah.
But if you're getting 7 quality hours, like, that's going to go a long way.
Yeah, and there's definitely situations where some people can't, if they have 2 jobs or whatever.
Yeah, for sure.
Everybody has different situations. But for most people, you're just not making it a priority.
Yeah, and that's what it's got to be. And like you said, there's going to be days when the kids don't sleep well, you're not feeling well, whatever it is, but the overall habit is the biggest deal, like you said. Consistency over a month period of time, if you're making the right decisions consistently, like, that's going to show up over, weeks and months.
For sure.
So I think it'd be good, like, from a training standpoint, to then go into the next biggest piece, which I think is recovery days, or how we balance, like, workouts versus easy runs. Because I think that's something that people get wrong a lot too, from a recovery standpoint, is how do we bounce back week to week to be able to push those hard runs.
Question.
Yeah.
Came across this, and people post recovery run.
Mm-hmm.
Is it, if we are running, is that truly recovery? Because we're still loading the tendons.
So there's an active recovery component. And so
a certain pace, or
it's really, the research would tell you a heart rate zone. So between 55 and 60% of your max heart rate is where that active recovery happens.
So would that be a walk for most?
Yeah, for a lot of people. I mean, but that's zone 1, zone 2, which is what most of your runs should be.
I just don't. I don't have anything ever listed as my 6 days a week running. I don't have a recovery run.
Yeah, and I think that's semantics. Like, I think recovery in the sense, like, you're definitely still loading your tendons, and that's not the same as, like, a total off day. But there's definitely, like, an active recovery component.
Okay.
I would say, like, that is more from, like, a neurological stress standpoint than, like, a physical stress standpoint, which, like you said, there's still mechanical load on tendons, muscles, soft tissue, like, all of that. Which is why, like, they're not one-to-one when you say, like, total off day versus a easy run day. So, I think there's semantics there when it comes to, like, is it recovery or is it just easy? I think easy is probably the better way to say that, but there is definitely, like, an active recovery component. I think the piece that people get wrong a lot is pushing their easy runs too hard and trying to maintain a certain pace, or maintain a certain pace no matter what the weather's like or how they feel that day. And really, I think the best recommendation we could make is easy is a feeling. It is not a certain pace.
Yeah.
So if you're like, nope, I go out and I run 8:30 every single time for my easy days, like, that's a slippery slope. Like, you're going to run into issues when it comes to, if you're trying to increase your volume as much as you can, or perform well on workout days. Easy should be a feeling, or not a pace.
Okay.
So, but I think to answer your question, is it truly recovery? I kind of bucket out recovery into, like, multiple different realms. Active being, like, easy exercise, biking, running, whatever that might be, where it is well below what you are capable of from a heart rate standpoint or a force output standpoint.
Would you lean towards an off day, or active recovery day if you had a day to pick?
I think it depends on what you're training for, what the rest of your life looks like. I mean, if you look at like high level triathletes, most of them are not taking an off day every week. Like most of the time it's balancing easy training with their harder training. Okay. Maybe they're taking a day off every couple weeks or every month.
I think it could be age related as well a little bit.
For sure.
The older we get, I think a day off is nice.
And I would say for most recreational athletes, which I would put us into that category, an off day is good. Like there's value in that, assuming that you are making the most out of the rest of your week of training.
Yep.
So I think the word recovery gets thrown around a lot, but I don't think that people understand how resilient our bodies are, and they are recovering from training that probably isn't really leaving them that exhausted to begin with.
Yeah, I've heard a lot of podcasts, and most people aren't going to overtrain.
Mm-hmm.
You're just not.
Yeah.
You have to be kind of psychotic to really overtrain your body.
And I would say overtrain from a true sense of overtraining. That doesn't mean injury, I would say. I would differentiate those two things, because overtraining is basically a physiological state of like neurological fatigue, you're irritable, like you're not sleeping well, those types of things. Versus like if you are mechanically stressing your body too often, you're running too hard on easy days, you're just pushing too hard without that recovery piece, your risk of injury is definitely higher. So I would definitely differentiate those two things.
Okay.
So, but yeah, I think the big takeaways are, when it comes to how you can implement training and balancing your easy days and your hard days, and if we're talking about recovery as a whole, making sure those easy days are truly easy is a big thing. But then so you can push your hard days harder too.
Yeah.
I mean, that's
and we talked about, I think, episode 2 a little bit about what that looks like. I think for many too, the whole concept of 80-20 polarized training, right? 80% of your running is easy, 20% is hard.
Yeah.
Again, so you can show up day of the hard workouts and get after it.
And I mean, I think to answer or talk through like that active recovery piece versus a true off day. I don't know how you are, but like there's points in time when that off day is really hard for me from like a mental standpoint, and maybe that's a deeper discussion, but that's where I think like some of that consistency of training and those types of things, I think those true off days can be tricky for folks for that reason.
I pretty much never did take an off day. What I deemed, so my long runs used to be Sunday, and on Saturdays was kind of like my upper pump day. Mm-hmm. And I just assumed, well, I'm taking a day off my legs. But I think it still was affecting my recovery. Yeah. From a neurological standpoint. Mm-hmm. I think I was still stressing the body. And so I wasn't getting the great recovery that I then started seeing. So then I committed to long run Saturday and a complete off day on Sunday. Mm-hmm. And come Monday morning, my HRVs I was like in the hundreds. Mm-hmm. And I've never seen the hundreds. Yeah. So that true off day has been huge for me from a physiological standpoint. But then also it's kind of been nice mentally. Yeah. I noticed that my attention to my boys during the day, I'm not as tired. Yeah. I can do more with them, a little bit more present. And it's just a good reset. Yeah. Because then I'm ready to go on Monday. Mm-hmm. Where I feel like if you're training every day, you're just trying to keep your head above water. Yeah. At some point, like it's, like anything, you start doing something new for the first couple months. It's exciting. It's a novelty. But when you're like, well, I want to do something for the rest of my life, and you never have a day off, you're like, well,
sustainability is important.
Right. And so I've noticed a day off for me, it's been fantastic.
I think I've started to adopt that a little bit more, just because like, when I was training for full Ironman, half Ironmans, like an off day for me was very rare. Like it would be maybe like once a month.
Or you probably couldn't. You need the time.
Yeah, that's the tricky thing with fitting in 3 sports, and trying to balance kids and life and all that stuff. But I have tried to make that more of a priority recently, and I have noticed a difference. Like I do feel good with that, and I would say it's allowed a couple things. One is to push some of these workouts. Like I usually do a hard bike ride on Monday, which has worked out well because I'm coming off of an off day and then going into a full week. So I've enjoyed that, and I think it's worked out well. And I'm training for a shorter distance race at this point, so I think the key difference being what I was doing before for training. More of that was easy. Like I would have maybe 1 or 2 workouts, hard workouts throughout the week. So sustaining like an easy bike ride on a Sunday or an easy run on a Sunday was not challenging. No. Now with these like Thursday, like I'm biking hard on Monday, swimming hard on Wednesday, running hard on Thursday, usually like a brick workout on Saturday. By the time I get to Sunday, I'm like, okay, I'm ready for a day off. And I think a lot of that's just because like the distance I'm training for is higher, it's shorter, it's higher intensity, so those workouts look different. So I think I've liked that off day for that reason.
On your off day, do you do anything, or would you recommend anything? Again, obviously there's active recovery. Is there any, or would you say don't do anything?
I think don't do anything. Like there's a good example from maybe 2 Winter Olympics ago. I don't know if you are familiar with this. There was a speed skater from Norway or Belgium or whatever.
Probably
one of those winter sport powerhouses, that he released his... So he won 5K gold and 10K gold in speed skating. After the Olympics, he released his whole training from that prior 4 years. And he basically treated it like a full-time job. He was training 30, 40 hours a week from Monday through Friday. And then Saturday, Sunday were total off days. And his rationale was like, I'm putting enough work in that block of time that I need that recovery. I need those off days. And he would use that for going for a hike with his friends or, doing nothing.
Okay.
But basically those were the days where he's like, this is my mental reset, this is my physical reset to be able to put in another hard week of training.
Okay. So for me specifically, I've been heating up like my hamstrings, rolling out on Sundays with the foam roller.
Yeah.
Doing some glute activation. Mm-hmm. But other than that, I'm just hanging out with the boys, whatever we're getting into.
Yeah, I mean, I take those days are usually every day in our house is a yard work day because my boys love mowing the lawn and stuff like that. Yeah. That's usually what I'm doing on a Sunday is either like a house project or we're going for a walk or something like that. So I'm trying to take that as a true mental reset. Yeah. It's hard for me to not think about training, but try to prioritize family and that time together on those days. Like I said, I'm trying to put my phone in the bedroom and leave it there on the charger so it's not around me quite as much, which I have found super helpful. So I think, honestly, for those days, and this is a good rule for everything, sometimes it's not adding more into your routine, it's just take a break. Yeah. Just let yourself relax.
Yeah. And again, I think we see it all the time. It's just people, again, go back to this point of make your hard days hard. I think most don't do that.
Yeah.
I think that's the challenge for
sure.
Majority of people is making that truly those efforts hard. That's why I love Dadletics and the track workouts. Those are the hardest workouts, but yet the easiest workouts.
Totally.
because I know I can
to
get
get
up
through those. It's so easy.
Right.
Yeah.
For whatever reason, like I look forward to that. Where again, if it's me going on the track by myself, I'm not looking forward to that.
Yeah.
I'm not pushing myself, and that's I think the beauty of what we've created and cultivated is we get to make the hard days easy in a sense, but now everybody gets to push hard.
Yeah. Easy to execute and to show up for them,
Yeah.
for sure. Yeah, I think a good general takeaway is sometimes and I find I see this with injuries all the time, is sometimes people become obsessive about what they can do more of to recover faster, or to everybody's in a sauna and a cold plunge and a red light therapy and all this stuff, and it's like sometimes your body just needs a break. Like you don't need to add another thing to your list of things to do.
It needs better sleep.
Yeah, like it needs true recovery and true, like, I feel like recovery is a buzzword, but like true just like rest. Like you're especially if you are balancing life and a job and training hard and kids and family, it's not adding in another 20-minute sauna session or compression boots or whatever it is. Like those are good things and they're fine, like if you find joy in those things, but that's not the stuff that's going to move the needle the biggest percentage points. It's sleeping well and balancing your training.
Yep.
Like making sure those are dialed in before you're doing any of that other stuff.
It's like everybody wants the best supplements.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, but what about your diet? He's like,
Yeah.
well, right. So it's getting all that right. Well, I think we can go into all the novelty stuff at a later point.
Yeah.
Because I think there is some
Totally.
just like if you are dialed in on your nutrition and you think you can pull some other levers, and it's like, okay, well, let's look at supplements.
Yeah.
Let's look at this same thing with this. It's like, okay, I'm getting the sleep. I'm doing the hard workouts. I'm doing the easy workouts. I'm taking my days off.
Yeah.
I want more.
Yeah.
And there definitely
there's
is,
1%ers that will help move that needle a little. Like, but the stuff we talked about today is 90% of it. If you're doing that, you're in a pretty good spot. But like you said, if you're looking for that little bit extra, like I think it's worth its own episode as a whole.
Agreed. Let's transition and finish off with next week's workout.
Yeah.
So next week we are back to critical velocity. So we are continuing to alternate threshold critical velocity, and we are doing 6 to 8 times 800s with 1 minute standing rest at critical velocity.
It's gonna be good.
So 800s are not fun. I think it might be the worst distance that that's something we would agree on.
Yeah.
For whatever reason they get us.
It's long enough, but you can go fast enough that it hurts.
Yeah. And I will be doing it by myself, unfortunately.
Oh yeah.
I have you probably have it this summer too, your 20-year class reunion.
Yeah. I don't know when ours is or anything, but I did graduate 20 years ago. Yes.
So mine is next Saturday, which I didn't want to do the long run on that Saturday. So unless maybe I change it, but as of now, I am going to be doing my long run on Friday, and then obviously don't want to do 800s on a Thursday in a long run. So at this point, I'm going to be probably doing it Tuesday on my own, but I'm still going to show up Thursday and just do easy 8-9 miles while everybody else kind of rips it.
Nice. What's your goal going to be for those?
I think I want to be around 250 to 255s.
Nice.
I believe. I'll have to take a look.
Yeah.
What's going on?
I think the nice thing with these alternating some of these like shorter intervals at critical velocity is being able to nudge it forward a little bit, so going slightly faster than what you were doing for the 1Ks is the way I'm thinking about it anyways. Is we're bouncing back and forth. We did 6 by 1K last week. We're now doing 200 meters less with the same rest. So theoretically we could nudge that down by a few seconds or so for those reps, which I think is a nice way to continue to progress that.
Yeah, and I will highlight this for those doing the full marathon. Maybe dive in, just briefly touch on why I'm protecting that long run.
Mm-hmm.
So I've been able to do these Thursday, Saturdays because my Saturdays haven't been terribly long. 15 miles this week, tomorrow, or this Saturday I'm doing 16 miles. Nothing crazy.
Mm-hmm.
But then I'm going to start getting to 17, 18, multiples, and then into 20s.
Plus adding some marathon pace in.
Correct.
Eventually.
So I can't. So if you're going to be doing long runs on Saturdays, I would highly suggest that you're still come out to the track and run.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, we'd love to have you, but I will have to be switching to just easy long run or easy runs on those Thursdays, and I'm going to have to probably move these higher intensity workouts to a Wednesday to protect that. If you're not doing the full marathon and you don't have the long run, you're totally fine. Like half marathon training, I mean, even if you're getting up to 12 miles on a Saturday, that's enough recovery from Thursday to Saturday.
Yeah.
So I do want to highlight that of why I'm going to be doing that. You do want to protect those Saturday long runs.
Yep.
Those are probably, again, priority number one for me.
Yeah. And that when I get into more specific half marathon training, which will be after age group nationals, I'm still going to do long runs on Saturdays, but they're going to be, again, volume wise, it's not anything. It's not as long as the marathon specific workouts. So,
and this is for Saturday only. Again, if you're a Sunday long run person, Thursday, Sundays,
that's
perfect.
a good setup.
Perfect.
Yeah. Having that couple of days in between allows you to be able to hit those with the vigor that you need to.
Yeah. But I did want to preface that for everybody of kind of my plan and just throw that suggestion out for others as well.
Yeah.
Again, it just depends on the volume on that Saturday.
Nice.
What you're looking for.
Well, yeah, I'm looking forward to next week. I think I've been excited to see some good progress over these last month or two with some of these workouts, and so I feel like just continuing to keep the ball rolling.
All right.
So,
anything else?
No, all good. I think we hit the big things when it comes to recovery. Like, that's the stuff to focus on. Like you said, on another episode, we'll talk about the 1%ers, the stuff that takes you from 90% to, those last few percentage points to make it 100%, I guess.
Absolutely. I do want to throw out, we are trying to upgrade our podcast.
Let us know how the volume, or the audio was on this episode comparative to how it has been.
So we're going to be having a conversation after this of where we want to upgrade, but we do want to throw it out there to any listeners. If you have any equipment that you're willing to lend us, but I think a purchase is probably in the works of making this a little bit more official. Also, we are more than happy to take free stuff. Mike Gold last week was very concerned with Pat.
Shout out Mike Gold.
And his, even though it's grass-fed, it's 80-20 beef. And so Mike hooked us up with some deer, some 90s. He said 97.3. Pretty much, he has too much, and he's getting more. And he's trying to clear out. So I don't know.
Gladly we'll eat it.
Yeah, we'll take it. So Pat's gonna be. I told him he's gonna have a 6-pack in a couple of weeks. He's gonna go from
more of a 6-pack.
more of a 6-pack. So if you ever want to hook us up, we'll give you a shout out for anything.
Totally. Yeah.
So,
Element, Yeti, whatever you got, bring it our way.
Garage beer?
Yeah, garage beer. I'll take Travis Kelsey, holler.
If I get a free garage beer, I'll have one. But, all right. On that note, we are done with episode 4. And
see you next week.
See you next week.